everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's me, Wicked, again, and today is Friday, so it's going to be Fun Friday. We're just going to draw for fun today, okay? So, no homework lesson, nothing like that, just something you can just follow along and draw a fun picture, okay? So, again, what you'll need today is either a regular number 2 pencil, or my personal favorite, a mechanical pencil, and an eraser, okay? You can use the erasers on the bottom, but if you're like me, I like to use the extra eraser, okay? So let's get started. We're going to draw something fun today. We're going to start with the head of a character, okay? So in order to do that, first thing we need to do is we're going to lightly, let's practice our light sketching. We're going to lightly draw ourselves a circle, okay? So when establishing a head, we would do a lot more than this, but this is not an advanced thing. We're just going to learn to draw a cool little character. Probably one of my personal favorites from growing up, but we're going to draw Jack Skellington, okay? So again, we're going to start lightly, alright, just in case we need to establish some stuff. Now when we want to base our head direction, way things are tilted, so right now my head looks like it's tilted this way, but we're going to make some adjustments, okay? So I'm going to draw a line lightly going down the center, kind of at an angle, right? So it's kind of turned, it's not straight from the top. So you don't want to go this way, you want to kind of come at an angle this way, okay? And then I'm going to kind of draw myself a little T cross going across my shape. That way it can help establish where my eyes are going to go. Okay, so before we do anything else and start adding details, we want to add other shapes in there to kind of help us build this character up. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is establish like a neck. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom. Jack's kind of made of bones anyway, so it's a little bit easier. So I want to kind of come off two little lines right here off the head. Okay, now if I want to determine which angle my shoulders and things like that are facing, we're going to do a really dynamic pose. So I'm going to come right up here more towards the face, and I'm going to come across with a straight line to kind of establish where my shoulders are. So I'm going to come down at an angle this way, lightly, mind you. Remember to always sketch lightly in case we need to erase stuff. And then just finish connecting the neck to that point. Okay, then once we have that established, and remember, if I'm going too fast, please by all means stop the video so that you can, keep up. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of come down. So see how I'm kind of rounding right here? I'm going to round downward at an angle this way. Now Jack is very long, so I want to stretch it out. He's a very exaggerated character. Okay, now when I come here, I'm going to round inward this way towards the body. Okay, and then I can go ahead and I can kind of connect the two and leave it like that. Alright, then I want to establish his waistline. Now Jack again is a very skinny skeleton. His upper body is a little bit robust, a little bit bigger, but down here in this area I'm going to draw myself two lines just like this. So we want to kind of make them skinny. Okay, then I want to kind of meet in the middle, right? So almost like we're giving him a tiny pair of underwear, for lack of a better term. Alright, and then he's got really skinny legs. Alright, so I'm going to draw, starting from right here, we're going to kind of cross his legs up. So I'm going to come straight down. Again, he's a very tall, lanky character, so I'm going to come straight down the center. Then I'm going to come back to this point right here, and I'm going to start skinny like this, and then I'm going to widen out to the side over here. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is I want to establish that other side. Now this leg is kind of coming back, so it's going to be behind, so I don't need to draw the whole thing down. So I can just come down at an angle towards his knee area and just run it right into the side right here. Okay, now looking at my picture and seeing how big everything is, we're going to cut some stuff down like I said. Okay, so right in here I want to start, just kind of follow your line up. Okay, and I'm going to kind of cut into it and come up here Okay, then I'm going to come back to this side right here. Okay, I'm going to kind of follow it again, cutting it down some and rounding it right there. So now that we have that set up, I can take my eraser. Again, this is why we draw lightly. I'm going to erase out that outside edge over here so that it's gone, and then come to this side over here. So I just want to erase out that part right there. The next thing I want to do is kind of skinny up his neck a little bit more. So let's bring it in. Let's start right here on the side and just move in some and draw ourselves a line there, and then come inside here and kind of curve it. And again, either using your big eraser or your little eraser, it doesn't matter. You can just erase out those two outside lines. Now, if everything else is shrinking up, that means I got to shrink up this head some too. So let's come in here and kind of start like with a smile. So just follow your pencil along your bottom line down here and cut it down. Okay, so I'm going to cut down the size of my circle. Like that. And then again, just take myself to the outside and erase the outside edge. Alright, now again, we're doing a dramatic pose here, okay? So we're going to put his hand in this area here. So let's just go ahead and draw ourselves a square shape. But if you notice right here, you're going to come out at an angle and then go this way at an angle. Okay, so once we have those two shapes established, all I have to do is arc or do a rounded shape right there. Okay, once I've established that, we got to have our little wrist connection. So I'm going to put another like rounded rectangle. So see how it's kind of rounded, it's not straight. And then that little line in the middle right there, I'm going to erase that out. Okay, so now I can establish the rest of his arm. Now again, he's highly exaggerated here. Okay, so I'm going to go straight back like this. I'm going to go way up high. Okay, then I'm going to come to this outside. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come way up high, and then once I get to a point, this is going to be like where his elbow is. Okay, then I'm going to come right in this area. I'm going to come right off the edge and come to the shoulder. So if you see, I'm kind of curving towards the shoulder, right? So that's a base setup for our arm. Then I'm going to come down here to this edge on this shoulder here. We're going to come down right here. Okay, so we're going to come downwards this direction. Okay, we want to kind of come down to our hip area. Okay, then I'm going to come back to the inside again right here, and I'm going to come down and stop here again. Alright, I can have a cutoff point if I just round right here. That'd be like where my elbow is. And then I'm going to go this way some more and really stretch that out. Okay, because again, he's very exaggerated. And then come to the other side and stretch that out as well. Alright, once we have that, the way we're going to close off, instead of just rounding this way, I want you to arch this way instead. So kind of going inside instead. Alright, then we want to establish our little wrist shape. So if we draw ourselves a little rounded rectangle right here, and then we're going to make that same shape that we did up here at the top. So I want to kind of come out at an angle and then come out at an angle and then simply arch it. Okay, so now we have kind of like the base set up for the upper body. Let's come back down here to the lower body. So we're going to kind of arch around this way to connect and close off his pants. Alright, And then, just because the angle that we're going for, we're going to come straight out, just like this. And then I'm going to round inward, like that. Okay, then we can just carry ourselves around right here for the tip of our shoe. Then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to arch back, so I'm making a little arch, then come back again, and then arch up this way. Okay, so that's going to be the base of our little shoe here. And we're drawing very cartoony. We're not doing anything super detailed because some of y'all are still learning, and that's fine. Okay, so the next thing I would need to establish is this next shoe. So I'm going to come out this way, like this. Okay, then I'm going to kind of round that direction. And then I'm going to arc it back that way. Okay, so that's going to be the established shoe for him. Okay, now we can start putting in the details for our character. Okay, so let's start up here with our eyes. Alright, so for Jack's head, we're going to come right here in the middle. Okay, you're going to put a little line. We can kind of darken it up a little bit. And I want you to round and come up right here. Then come to the other side and kind of round and come up right here. Okay, now we can start right here at the edge where this little circle is right here. We can round downward and then curve back. Okay, so almost like drawing Spider-Man here. Should have that kind of shape. Then we're going to come over to this side. We're going to round out and curve back up into our shape there. Okay, now Jack is not a traditional skeleton. He just kind of has little slits for nose. So if we just make these kind of little bean shape, so almost curving at the top and then rounding it. Okay, now that's a little crooked, so I'm going to fix that. Again, we don't have to be perfect. You could leave it how it is, but sometimes my perfectionism kicks in a little bit. So I'm going to turn it this way some. Okay. Now that we have that, we can start bringing in his mouth. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to just kind of lightly sketch in that big smile on his face. Okay, so again, we're just going to lightly sketch in a nice big smile. Okay, now in the middle, I'm going to have a line here, right? Then I want to come through and I want to kind of round. So follow that line you made and come back up and make another shape. And then you're just going to continue that same pattern, going back. So we just curve back. Then we're going to do it on the other side. We're going to come back this way, kind of curve, come back to the bottom, make a curve, and then curve again. Okay, now he has a bottom section too. Okay, so all we have to do is simply come in and make the lines and curve them. So if we just kind of curve them out, we can establish that face. Now, he does not have like traditional chin. So I'm going to come over here on this side here, and I'm going to round as close to the teeth as possible. Okay. Once you've got that, you can erase this bottom area down here, and then we can just reattach his neck. Okay. Now the top of the head, this part up here at the eyes, we want to oversell that. So let's stretch that just a little bit. Okay, we want to bring it out just a little bit, just like that. And then I want to come down here to this area right here, and I want to go like this and round it back. Okay, so kind of like we're hooking it back. Then I want to come over to the other side and do the same thing. So I want to kind of round over the edge and hook it back. Now I can completely change the top of his head. So let's erase out our little bit of eye line going across, those little sketchy lines, so that we're just left with this top piece. And then we can kind of go back and forth. Meeting it in the middle. Now again, this is kind of more in my style, so it's going to look like Jack, but it's just going to be in my kind of way of doing it. So let's come back down here to this point, and let's really turn the face on both sides. Okay. The next thing I want to do is Jack has this really big bow tie. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start right here in the middle and kind of turn on both sides like this. So it's like I'm arching in two directions. I'm going to curve out like that and come back in to the bottom and round it. Okay. So if I do the same thing on the other side, I'm going to curve out and touch right there. Erase out anything on the inside in there. Now I can come right here to this edge here, and I can continue to make this shape. So I'm going to curve in and then out. Okay. Then I'm going to come down here to the bottom, and I'm going to curve downwards and come up. Now you might be wondering why there's this huge gap. Well, we're going to show you in a minute. So let's erase out this part of his shoulder. Since that's being blocked, we can't see it anymore. Let's round it and carry it all the way back to the center of the tie. Okay. This way it'll help us add some layers to it. Then I'm going to come out this way and stretch it out and curve it in on itself. Alright. Now, right here at the top where we start to arch, you want to carry it up and curve out and just round it in on itself. Okay, so this will be his little fancy bow tie here. Alright. Now I can come to the other side. We want to kind of do the same thing here. So I'm going to use his shoulder right here just a little bit. I'm going to curve up and then I'm going to curve back in. So it's going to be blocked by his hand, so we won't be able to see it. Then I can come down here to the bottom and do the same thing. I'm going to curve outward like this, almost like making an arch. Okay. Then we can clean out everything on the inside. Alright. Now, we can come to the center area right here. Okay. We're going to kind of arch this way and connect that. And then out here on the top, I just want to kind of start here at the corner and come back in. It'll make this little triangle right here. Alright. Now, for his hand, alright, for his hand, we've already have this established. So let's go ahead and thicken that up. All we gotta do is just kind of color it some. That way we can really see that joint separation. Alright. Then we're gonna have a thumb. Okay, so for the thumb, I want you to kind of come arch this way And then on the bottom, do the same thing and just connect it. Okay, so you should have a little shape like this. Then we're going to come out one more time and kind of curve under to a point. Okay. Then we want to do his fingers. So I'm going to come right back here where I left off. I'm going to draw straight out and stop right there under the thumb. Actually, let's come past the thumb a little bit. Let's make him have some lanky fingers. And let's go ahead and let's arch all the way across and connect it. Okay, so now that that's established, we got to put the rest of these fingers in. Now Jack doesn't have 5 fingers like everybody else, he's just got the 4. So if we just take a line, cut that in half there, and cut this half right here, we've got 4 separate fingers. Okay, so now I can do one more layer. I'm going to curve out, and again just kind of arch it back just like that, and then continue that line. And if you go back over and just kind of round your corners, it should be good. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is he's got this nice snazzy suit on, so let's start right here, and I want to kind of curve it this way. Alright, so that's just that out rim part along the collar. I'm going to come right back here and do another one running parallel. I'm going to arch it down just below the finger right here. Okay, now we need to take it down the center. Okay, since it is a coat, we're going to come down the center and go straight. Okay, then I'm going to arch it towards his back right here. Go to the other side. This time I'm going to curve this way. Alright, then I can simply take it and look right here at the line. I want you to cut in right there and then just erase that piece. Okay, let's come to this other side here. Now this is our shoulder here. So he's got very pointed shoulders coming off. So if I come over here to my tie, kind of come out and curve like this, that'll be the start of his shoulder. We're going to curve down just a little bit, and I need to have that bend in his back. Okay, so I'm going to start here and just kind of round to this point, and then come and curve outward like this and stop right there. So we can erase this a little piece on the outside here. Alright, come to this arm over here. We need to bring his shoulder in, give him a little wrinkle in his clothes. Okay, so just bring it in and then just follow your arm all the way down here to the elbow. We can add a couple wrinkles, so let's just put a curve in right here and then poke out, making this little almost triangle shape, and cut in. Come to the other side of the arm. We want to come inward. Okay, so we're coming towards, we want to make it skinny, so at an angle. Don't follow your old line. Just come in at an angle to this point, and then make another little angle shape. Okay, now let's go back and clean up this area. Anything that's loosely sketched on the inside, we're just going to clean that up. Alright, then we're going to come right back here where we left off. We're going to kind of come out a little bit, and then again you're going to come in at an angle and probably stop about halfway, and I'm going to show you why in a minute, okay? Come to the other side, do the same thing, kind of poke out a little bit and then curve inward. So see how I'm curving in, and I'm going to follow my line out. Now we want to give it the illusion that he has the clothes on, right? So let's come down here and start arching out again and then curve right there at the end. So just follow it around and then curve back out. Okay, now I can erase any of this excess that I may have. Ours may not be exactly the same, but you should have some excess to clean up. Any of that sketchy area stuff, we're going to clean that up. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to establish this hand here. So let's just go ahead and darken that up, and let's thicken that connection region where the joints would be at, and then we'll just bring it back in, and then I can thicken up this area down here. Okay, now we're just going to spread his hand out. So let's start over here on the edge. Let's come straight out with two lines and kind of round it. Okay, then I want to do this kind of almost like a bump, right? And then curve, and then just round it back, and that'll be his thumb. Alright, now we're going to kind of do the same thing with the fingers, at least for the first section. So I'm going to kind of come straight out on this side and then come straight out on this side. Alright, I'm going to simply just make an arch to connect the two and kind of thicken it up. Then I can separate his fingers. Okay, so once we have that, I can separate his fingers. I'm going to come down and come to this side and come down. Alright, now here's where things are going to change a little bit. We're going to kind of make his fingers look like they spread. So this particular finger we're going to start with is in the middle. So let's kind of come this way and around the top. Okay, then come to this finger. It won't be as long, so we're going to round it, but this time I want to come and cut it short right here. Alright, then for the pinky I want to round and then curve back like that. Okay, so basic fingers. Again, we're not doing nothing super detailed. It's just a fun Friday drawing. Okay, now that that's established, I'm going to come over here to the top part of my shoulder, right? So right here at this line right here, I'm going to make an extra line that comes out and just bring that down. Alright, then at the elbow up here, we're going to follow our line. Now we want to skinny this up a little bit, so let's come across like this, and then let's make a sharp turn. Okay, and I want to start this way, going straight. Then I want to start arching outward like this and round it in. Okay, so before I do the other side, let's go ahead and clean up the outside so you can see what that looks like. So let's clean up our outside edge, and let's come here on the inside and get rid of that. Okay, on this I'm going to then come here, I'm going to come back and just follow it up. Okay, now we have the bottom portion of his suit, so I'm going to kind of make that little triangle shape there and come down a little bit. Alright, then I'm going to curve, so like a smiley face, I'm going to curve over and come straight up and connect right there. Once that's done, I can clean up this inside area. And again, pause the video if you need to. Okay, I'm going to clean up that inside area. And since the coat is kind of wrapping back because he has kind of like an overhang, we're going to come up and connect right here for now. Okay. Now I'm going to come right here. We're going to kind of bounce out on the edge. We're going to kind of come outward and then come down and come in just like that. Then I'm going to follow my pant leg down, but I'm going to stop right here. Okay. Now I need to make this crease in his pants, so I'm going to start by using this line here. Just kind of darken that up, then round it and come up this way. So it's almost like we're making a U shape. Now we're going to probably extend this down some more. So let's start here and let's come down. Follow our line. And let's stretch it past the shoe a little bit. If we got to make an adjustment, we'll make an adjustment. Okay? So let's stretch it past the shoe and round out that way. Alright? Now I want to start coming back in. So I want to curve inward. Okay? I'm going to come up. See how I'm going inside my line? As I come up, I want to come back out again, but I want to make this little curve right here at the top. Okay? Now that we have that extra length, I can bring this side down and just go ahead and connect it. Alright? I can clean up the inside now. And then hit the outside as well to clean that up. Okay. Then I can come in here and clean up the inside of his pants right there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, we want to see a little bit of the pants down here. So let's go ahead and curve out this way and come back. Clean up the inside of it. Okay. We're going to keep this part of the shoe and come up. So that's fine. We can keep that there. But we're going to make an adjustment on this one. Let's come inside and run parallel. And let's extend the shoe out just a little bit. Okay. So let's round it back. And then we're going to come underneath it a little bit, come back, and round up. So I can erase out the old lines that I have. Alright, now I can make like a bottom shape to his shoe, so I can kind of come across and add that detail in. Then I want to start here and curve back. Then I can come back in here and kind of round it a little bit and then curve back. So now I can get rid of that little outside line there. Okay. Yeah, we're not going for perfection. We're just having fun today. We're just trying to draw whatever. If you're in the more advanced class stuff, our Fun Draw Fridays will be characters with a lot more detail and things in it. But for this is more of that beginner level stuff still. Okay. So, some finishing touches. Let's go ahead and color in his nose black. Okay, same thing with his eyes. Let's just go ahead and come in there. Darken that up. Alright, and we can do the other side over here. And then I can kind of darken up some of those. So those details for Jack, he's got like little pinstripes. Now this can be a little difficult, but we're going to just take it a little step at a time. So we're just essentially going to draw and follow along with the curves of our outfit. And we're going to draw ourselves a stripe in his clothes. Okay? So if you just start at one end and just take your time and take yourself up, you're going to come and run parallel. So you're going to try to stay close to that line without touching it and go all the way up. So that's one stripe, right? Now this other side, we're not going to see the whole thing. So we're going to start here and it'll kind of disappear off on the edge. Okay. Now, the rest of this stripe is actually going to curve this way up onto the clothes. Okay. It's even going to stretch over to his suit collar. Alright. Then we're going to have another one, so we'll just draw a quick square right in there. Okay. And then we're going to draw one more right here. Okay. Now let's follow that. So let's take this one that we have. Let's arch this way and kind of make this rounded shape. Come down to the coat side. And then just do the same thing. And follow on the edge. Alright. Now we should see a little bit more right here, so let's add another stripe just like that. Okay, and then we're going to split in between because he's got a jacket on over his suit, so we're just going to kind of come in the middle, draw ourselves another one. Okay, then we're going to come to the other side over here, do the same thing. We're going to kind of curve it, go up. Okay, then come to the next one, curve up towards the hand. Now this time we're going to use this edge, so we're going to follow it up and then we're going to turn. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing. We can kind of come down in here and split the center and draw another line that way. Okay, now by all rights he's got like a little button right here, so we can kind of curve straight up. We can put a little button here, put one here, and just work our way up and put some buttons in. Okay, then our stripe's going to continue, so we're going to just start here with what we got down here at the bottom. So let's come down to the bottom pant. We're going to follow that. We're going to go up, don't touch over on the line, just stay close to it. We're going to curve all the way up. We're going to kind of bend and come back towards it. Now I can use this to guide myself back down. Okay. Now same thing as before with the sleeve. We're going to have another stripe here, but it's not going to be completely visible. So we got to go up to about that point and then just make another line. Alright, now we're going to be able to see another one here, so I'm going to kind of curve out right there and then just start coming back inward since our leg is turned. Then just come to the outside, bring it back in, and then we'll see a small portion this time actually come off our leg. So we're going to come up this way and just connect like that. Okay, now we're going to come over to our sleeve here. We're going to start here with this point. I'm going to come back and touch the arm and then come back again a little bit higher and touch it. Okay, now this next one, we're going to come next to it and we're going to come straight up the middle, all the way up to that elbow. Then come right next to it. Do the same thing. Alright, then I'm going to come on this inside right here. I'm going to draw a skinny line coming down and then put another one right next to it. And the last step, we're going to do the top part here. Just kind of follow the top of your bow Okay, come down here to the middle one, do the same thing, just squeeze in between the middle there, follow it around, and do the same thing for that bottom layer. Then just come in here and curve a stripe in. Come over to this side, do the same thing, just curve another stripe, and then do the same thing over here. So there should be a top portion for each one of these. It just follows back. Okay, so this is a very basic Jack, just having fun here on Friday, just drawing a Jack Skellington. Okay, it's 100% anatomy correct, all that other stuff. No, we're not concerned about that. We're just having fun today. Okay, now for my more intermediate advanced folks who are still waiting for those videos, when they come, our free draw Fridays will be much more heavy in detail. This is just more for that beginner level. It wasn't supposed to be anything too fancy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some fun today drawing Jack with me, and I can't wait to see how your homework assignments are coming. Till then, this has been Wicked, and keep sketching and have fun. Alright?